We're all prisoners to the hustle and bustle of everyday life, having to go to work and the suffering stress associated with it. So it's nice to once in a while get away on a family holiday. Myself and the girls are probably a little different to most, going on a family fishing holiday each year, and that's due to my obsession with fishing, which I've had since a very young age. Thankfully, my partner Chloe loves coming out with me too, and has done since we got together many years ago, and our two daughters have absolutely embraced it, helped by the fact, as parents, we absolutely want them outside in the fresh air as much as possible. A holiday with fishing incorporated into it really ticks so many boxes for us as a family. We can go to quiet, peaceful, tranquil places, and we can enjoy spending time outdoors with a little bit of fishing involved. In 2017, we headed to Bearley Lakes, staying in a caravan deep in the Somerset countryside with some incredible carp fishing on our doorstep. In 2018, we headed out on a huge adventure, travelling and fishing all across Europe as we made our way to Austria and the amazing fishery Stefan, and then back again. Maya and Fern love our family fishing trips. Not only the fishing, but being out in nature, the bug hunting, butterfly catching, the family activities and days out. It really is eagerly anticipated each year, more so than other holidays or breaks away together. The European road trip last year was great, but in hindsight, maybe somewhat ambitious with a 2 and 3 year old. So this year we wanted something a little more chilled and a bit closer to home for the girls that didn't involve so much time cooped up in the van.
Hi, I'm Maya. I'm Fern. And welcome to our family fishing holiday. And this year we're going to Angliss Paradise. And we hope that we can catch lots of fish.
It's the middle of March and spring is just bursting through. We've decided to come out a bit earlier this year, mainly because I've had a very busy autumn and winter working, primarily at shows and shop days, away a lot of weekends, so I really wanted to get away just for a few days with the girls. We've only got 4 days and we've travelled down to Devon to the amazing Angliss Paradise. Since I was a young boy, I've known of this place. I've watched the films, seen the magazine articles, the amazing golden orf, the huge golden tench, and I've always dreamt of coming here. So I'm so happy to finally be here now and to bring my family along with me. It's a fantastic complex and does exactly what the name suggests. There's a number of lakes on site, certainly on this part of the resort that we're on, I think 14 in total, lots of different accommodation to stay in, a really crazy African safari bar, a swimming pool, a kids play park, woodlands to walk in. It really is a piece of paradise. We didn't actually get down to the complex till late in the evening. In fact, it had just turned dark, but we were immediately met by Zig, the owner. I've heard so much about him. What a character. The man's travelled the world, caught fish that I could only dream of catching, and he welcomed us with open arms and immediately took us through to his African safari bar. What a place.
I've warned them what Devon's like.
What a place, babe.
Crocodiles lit up here. Or alligators.
Oh wow, this is the famous wine.
Tradition is he pours a glass of his homemade wine, and yeah, me and Chloe had a nice glass of that and caught up with him, hearing some of his stories before he sat down and sort of went through the lie of the land really, showed us a map of the venue, and yeah, really got me excited, itching to get up the following morning and go and explore. Zig then passed us over to his beautiful wife Rose, who took us over to our accommodation.
The lovely Rose.
Yeah,
thank you.
We're staying in the royal apartment and it is fantastic. Very, very spacious, big living room, kitchen, every bedroom's got a bathroom, and when you walk out to the back door, you've got your own kind of private secluded garden area. That first evening was spent getting the girls to bed after such a big long day.
It's been a long day, Maya.
No.
And me setting to, unloading the van and preparing all the gear. I set up a gazebo out the back just to give myself some space to get organised, set all the bait up, prepared some rods, and really, yeah, just got organised for the sort of forthcoming few days. I had a fantastic night's sleep that first night and woke up to a beautiful sunrise. The girls got up shortly afterwards, Chloe prepared some bacon and eggs, and then we went over to the reception again to meet up with Xenia. What a lovely lady. She was brilliant with the girls and offered to take us on a further tour around some of the facilities. We went and looked at the swimming pool, the kids' play area, before jumping on one of the on-site Kubota type tractor things with Zig and the head bailiff Ashley for a great big tour around the complex. This is what I was itching to see. The fish species here at Angliss Paradise offer the anglers the opportunity to sit and float fish, feeder fish, pole fish and catch fish from this size one after the other, right the way up to enormous catfish and carp. The catfish go to just over £100, the carp to over £50, so really there is something here for everyone of all different ages and abilities. It's now the middle of the first day, and as much as I was itching to get out there fishing, a holiday like this, you can't just fish all the time. So we caught up with Xenia again, found out where the local shops were and headed out for the afternoon, collecting some supplies and then calling in to see our salesman Rob for this area, a cracking bloke with a lovely family. We went to meet his wife, children, sister, nieces and spent a thoroughly enjoyable couple of hours there, playing with the chickens, feeding the pigs. We even got a pony out and the girls went horse riding. It was absolutely fantastic. Couldn't have wished for a better afternoon, to be fair. And whilst that was all happening, of course I had a sawn off over my shoulder. And that's because at the bottom of Rob's garden there's a beautiful little stream with some trout in it. Once the girls had done their pony riding, I had a few casts with a mep spinner and was really delighted to catch some small sea trout and little brownies.
What's that?
You're not getting down. Look, what is that? Say hi, fish.
Good boy.
What a fantastic afternoon. We headed back to Angliss Paradise that evening, prepared some tea, put the girls to bed, and then me and Chloe chilled. As I said, I'm not in any sort of rush to rush out and get the rods out. It's all about spending quality time with the family. But I know how beneficial it can be if you can introduce a little bit of bait before actually fishing. So that's what I did. I went around and primed a few spots on the various different lakes, knowing that it wouldn't be long before I'd finally get out there and do an actual bit of fishing myself. So let's talk actual fishing. Finally we came out as a family. We loaded up the barrow with some slicker floaters, some riser pellets, some lighter test curve scopes, and I even had a couple of £1 dwarf rods for the girls. And we headed over to the float lake.
Yeah. Right, no one doing Ollie Davies.
That's enough. Who wants to finish off mixing that?
Me!
Oh, give it a really, really good shake.
To be fair, making that first decision on where to fish was really difficult. We looked at Pixie, we looked at Magic, we looked at Tench Lake, and they all looked so fantastic. But yeah, we decided to settle on Float Lake. We had a fantastic couple of hours there, catching probably a dozen koi up to £5 or £6, and the girls loved it. They could literally pick the one they wanted. Daddy, I want an orange one. No, get a white one. And we worked through the different colours.
What colour is he?
Daddy.
Reel a bit, Maya. Oh, you got him.
Teamwork.
Next to dreamwork. I love Angliss Paradise.
It's good here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you having a nice time?
Yeah.
Good. Well, we've caught some beautiful fish already, haven't we? Lots of different kois. So beautiful, aren't they?
Yeah.
Wow. Should we get a nice photo?
Yeah.
Well, what a fantastic afternoon. We've literally come out for probably 2.5 hours down onto the float lake, and
yeah, it's very prolific to say the least. Lost count how many beautiful koi we've caught, all manner of different colours, and tactics have been really simple. Just fed some riser pellet, fished a little bulk machine on the surface, a little controller type float, and yeah, small size 10 claw hook with a little soft hookable floater, and it's been very, very hectic and a lot of fun. Have you enjoyed it, Fern?
Yeah.
As well as that, I spent one early morning session well before the girls got up, just walking out with a 2.25 scope and a bucket of pellets. I decided to fish the pellet waggler method, basically spraying pellet up in the water. The pellet had been laced with the Scopex squid syrup and then dusted off with some stick mix, and they went absolutely wild for it. In the space of about 45 minutes, I had caught 10, 15 lovely carp before heading back up for breakfast. By now though, that specimen lake was really getting underneath my skin, but it wasn't quite time yet. I needed to spend some more quality time with the girls. But we did take a big wander around the site, this time stopping off on the Octopussy Lake, where after a little bit of cautious feeding, I managed to get a few fish taking floaters to then go on and catch a really, really old scaly carp. For sure, I kind of wanted to catch a big orf, and I definitely wanted a big golden tench. But really, in my hearts of hearts, having seen the scaly carp in here, this is the one for me. I haven't got a huge amount of time now. Like I said, we're only here for 4 days on holiday, and it's getting towards the end of that now. But I've got a good solid 24 hours to concentrate on this. There's not a huge amount of carp in here, and that's what makes it a specimen lake. In fact, speaking with Ash, the head bailiff, he reckons around 27 fish. They're sort of 15 pounds to sort of low 30s, but they're originals, they're old, and I'm sure they're absolutely stunning. As I said earlier, I've been kind of creeping around here at night or early in the morning, tricking a little bit of bait in, hoping to get their confidence up. And I'm going to go and get my rods prepared now. It's going to be a simple case of dropping little traps in the right spots. Fingers crossed tonight one of them will trip up on one of those spots. But should they not, I'm sure it'd be good for a bite first thing in the morning. Then tomorrow I'm going to head off for a bit of a mission, a proper bit of me, literally taking some risers and floaters, jumping from lake to lake to lake to see exactly what I catch. But for now, that sun's setting, I'm going to go and set my hide up, get the bed chair sorted, prepare a few rods and get those baits out there into position. First and only night at Angliss Paradise complete. When we got here yesterday evening, I was adamant I was going to be able to pluck one off the surface. There was a few fish milling about in the pot of McGeeton and stuff, but to say they were difficult and tricky would be an absolute understatement. Probably fished for about an hour, hour and a half. I had 3 refusals where they were quite happily feeding on the slicker floaters, and as soon as they got to my hook bait, they immediately knew it wasn't right and just rejected it. Very, very frustrating. So I went through the process of putting out a couple of bottom bait rods, using the baiting pole, looking for areas that other anglers probably wouldn't fish, just trying to trip them up that way. Yeah, a little mix of flake and pellet and Scopex squid over the top. Yeah, the night passed very, very quietly. It wasn't until just before first light this morning when I finally got the take I was after. It's a mega one. A really, really mega one. Yeah, Angliss Paradise, they got the name bang on. It's a really special fish. Yeah, so chuffed to have caught it. It's currently sitting there, chilling in the net. I've run Chloe and the girls, got them out of bed very, very early this morning, and they're just getting dressed and they're on their way down. But while that's happening, I'm going to quickly get this rod back out. It does look good. There's not a big sunrise this morning, it's a bit moody, lots of mist rolling off the water, and I think if I can get another bait out there nice and discreetly with a baiting pole, there's every possibility of another bite.
Yeah, you're in. You're in. Well, I was just doing a bit to camera. I wanted to get my second rod back out after having caught the most incredible fish this morning, just before first light. And the second rod's gone. Oh, what a place, man. What a place. And this one, equally as impressive. Wow. Wow. Yeah, crazy. Just literally doing a bit of camera work with the lads, preparing a new rig, putting a fresh cultured hook bait on. And this one's gone. Well, he's fantastic, isn't he? He's really, really old and really, really special. And I'm so happy to have caught him. Really, he's a beautiful carp. Can you give him a kiss?
Yeah.
Go on then. Can you give him a kiss, Fanny?
She's already done it.
Of course you have. Mwah. He probably really likes that. But what an amazing carp. The first one of the morning, just before sort of first light, about 5 o'clock, 5:15. Fantastic carp. It's made the trip so worthwhile. As if it wasn't fantastic enough, you know, catching the koi and the orf and flitting between the various lakes, to go on the specimen lake and catch, you know, one of the real gems. Wow. So, you want to see a catfish, do ya?
Yeah.
But they do grow really, really big. And do you know what I used last night for them?
No. I know, because I seen that.
What are they? Wiggly worms. And then I made sure I had a really big sharp hook because they're so strong, catfish. But this is what we used last night to catch some. Would you like to actually see a real catfish?
Yeah!
Yeah? Come on, let's get one out and have a look.
I want a real mugger. Oh, yes, still.
Look at him. Look at that.
I got one of these catfishes in my fish book.
Have you?
Yeah.
This one's called a Wells catfish. Look at his beautiful whiskers. Do you want to touch his whisker, Fern? Nice and gently.
There's one here too.
Look how big his mouth is. Have a look inside here. Look down there. Look in that. You could fit your arm in there, couldn't you? That's it. Get hold of him, Fern. That's it.
Come here, little fella.
Is he slimy?
Yeah.
Gonna give him a kiss, Maya?
Right.
What about on his head, the top of his head? When I put him back,
Yeah.
would you like to see a really big catfish?
Yeah. It's bigger than your carpet, Daddy.
Bigger than the carp? Oh yeah. Look at him.
Wow. Hey! Hey, slimy fish!
Oh, he is slimy, isn't he?
Really?
His big whiskers as well. Come and kneel next to me.
Oh, you naughty visit! Who put them whiskers there? Come here, little fella.
Oh, there you go. A much, much bigger one, eh, Maya? God, I reckon you could get your head in his mouth.
I can't.
A really, really nice one. Caught on a big bunch of worms. Yeah, fantastic fishing. I had to have a go for the catfish whilst down here. A number of the lakes hold them and they grow to some really big sizes too. Catfish fishing, yeah, you can keep it quite simple. I think the number one important thing is no resistance. So I've opted to use a running lead, and that's running along a length of Klingon tube in there, just so when they do pick the bait up, they can move away freely. I've locked that in place with a helicopter sleeve, and then just mounted onto that a long length of 35-pound armour link, which is super abrasion resistant. Catfish don't have teeth, but they have got abrasive pads, so that prevents potentially getting cut off or bitten off. And then a very, very strong hook. I've opted to use one of the brute hooks, which is very thick in the wire and allows me to really play them quite hard. A lot of these lakes here, they've got lots of little dot islands and stuff where the cats are of course going to try and get back into, and this just allows me to pile maximum pressure on. And then the hook bait, I've opted for worms. You could use liver, you could use bits of squid. Live baits, dead baits are good, but they're not allowed here at Angliss Paradise. So I've gone for a nice big worm Medusa rig, and I've popped that up directly up off the lead. So a good few inches up off the bottom. And then over the top of that, just fed some Scopex squid pellet. Dead simple. It was quite productive. Only literally fished for a couple of hours for the cats last night, and yeah, managed to catch a few. The most important thing, guys, use strong, reliable tackle. I've got a very strong scope rod here, a 3.5 test curve, 20-pound mono, and strong terminal tackle components, because these things really pull back. Crazy. Girls come down, photographed 2 amazing fish caught from here this morning. Just took them across to show them their very first catfish. I had to have a quick go for them last night for an hour or two. And yeah, another rod's gone. It's one of the rods I replaced this morning, about 6.37. Bit more Scopex squid flake, a few more boilies over the top, and yeah, got another one on. Yay! After an absolutely fantastic morning down on the Specimen Lake, headed back up to the house of the girls, had some breakfast, headed across to the swimming pool for one final dip, and now I'm going to get that power barrel loaded up and head down to the Koi Lake. It's a lake we haven't fished so far, but if I look back over the last 3 days, the bit that Chloe and the girls have enjoyed the most was definitely fishing for the colourful fish. So we're going to head out now with a little dwarf rods, some riser pellets, some slicker floaters, and just see if we can't catch them a few more orange, white, yellow koi. Let's get this gear sorted, get down there and see if we can't catch some real colourful ones. Should we go and catch one?
Yeah!
Come on, let's go and catch one. A fishing float. And what do we do with the float?
We chuck it in the water.
Yeah, and then what?
It goes underwater. We lift it up.
That's when you catch one. Although we really wanted to get around some more lakes on that final afternoon, time just ran away. They do say when you're having fun, that's exactly what happens. The Koi Lake had sucked us in and we spent a lovely afternoon there, catching some beautiful fish, doing a little bit of float fishing and having a lovely picnic. As another year passes, another family fishing holiday comes to a close. Wow, I feel so lucky to have the family that I've got. Super supportive Chloe and 2 beautiful girls that love coming out and doing some fishing with me. right. You just need to hold on to the hook and pull it out.
Good girl.
Good girl. But I'm fully aware that as those girls get older, they're probably not going to want to come on a family fishing holiday with their mum and dad anymore. So it's afternoons like today on the Koi Lake that I'll cherish forever. Memories were made, there were lots of laughs, and there was some beautiful fish caught.
Well, that was good fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I bet you girls are shattered now. It's been a long few days, hasn't it?
I'm not shattered.
No, have you had a nice time though?
I'm not shattered.
Good. Have your favourite fish been the orange ones?
Yeah.
They are amazing, aren't they?
We all got orange
We
ones.
all managed to catch some orange ones today.
Orange family of fish.
And you all got the same eyes.
Bye-bye, see you again another time.
Bye-bye. Thank you for our lovely holiday. Bye-bye. And I put a thing in the lake.